Hi folks, and welcome to Mountain Talk here on WMMT. I'm your host, Parker Hobson. So, back in the summer of 1956, a series of field recordings were made of local folk musicians over in North Carolina and Virginia. These recordings later came out on a compilation record called Instrumental Music of the Southern Appalachians. And of everything on that album, there were 5 songs in particular, all by the same performer, that just didn't really sound like anything else. They were instrumental guitar tracks that featured a distinct 2-fingered blues guitar picking style, and there was also just a totally unique sense of warmth, tone, and feeling. The guitarist behind them was unknown at the time, but we know her now as the master Piedmont blues guitar player, Etta Baker. Etta's recordings on this compilation quickly became beloved, and according to an article from the Birthplace of Country Music Museum, they resulted in Etta having a massive influence on 20th century folk and blues music, including serving as inspiration for artists like Taj Mahal and Bob Dylan. Despite her influence, though, Etta was not actually paid for these recordings, and she was forbidden by her husband to perform her music publicly for many years. Eventually, when she was able to pursue music, she put out award-winning records and performed all over the country, including several times here in Whitesburg at our very own Seedtime on the Cumberland Festival here at Appleshop. And today on Mountain Talk, we'll hear all about Etta Baker. First, through an episode of the former WMMT series Southern Songbirds, and then through clips from one of her performances here in Whitesburg. But first up, from series producer Rachel Anne Goodman, here is an episode of our series Southern Songbirds, all about Etta Baker.
There's happiness in the blues. People think blues has to be sad feeling, but it's not to me.
Around the turn of the century, a powerful new sound began to take hold in the South. The blues emerged from rural Black America, giving expression to an era of massive social change and migration. As the blues became popular, many women took up the acoustic guitar. Pioneers like Memphis Minnie and Elizabeth Cotton popularized styles of finger-picking guitar that continue to provide creative inspiration for rock, jazz, and gospel music today. Welcome to Southern Songbirds, a radio series honoring the women of early country and old-time music. I'm your host, Rachel Anne Goodman. Today we'll visit with master blues guitarist Etta Baker. She was born in Caldwell County in the mountains of western North Carolina, and Etta Baker comes from a family of old-time and blues musicians. Etta's rich family legacy of African and Cherokee roots inspired her lifelong love of the music. Etta's father, Boone Reed, played old-time banjo, guitar, and fiddle, and her mother played harmonica. Her sister, Cora, sang and played the guitar.
I've been awakened many morning to the sound of Daddy's music, Mother in the kitchen, making biscuits, frying ham, and apples for breakfast, and it was just a wonderful life. Sometimes after I go to bed, I just lay and think about, as far back as I remembered, it has really been a happy life.
Etta Baker's father, Boone Reed, was known throughout the mountains of North Carolina as a talented clawhammer banjo player. He also played the blues guitar. Etta Baker remembers how her father taught her to play at age 3.
Oh, he couldn't hardly have room for his guitar, his banjo. I was standing so close. I know I was really a nuisance, but he seemed to be real patientable with me, and when I started playing, he'd sit me up in the bed, lay the guitar across my lap, and let me play.
How old were you then?
I was around 3. We had a lot of cousins that lived, my daddy's brother's family, and we'd all get together and play, sometimes play all night.
do that? What exactly were you doing there? Can you describe it? Is that
Well, your thumb is a constant thumb beat in the forefinger. And when the two is just a constantly backwards and forward till it both combinates together.
Caldwell County, North Carolina, where Etta Baker grew up, was a tight-knit farming community where neighbors would help each other with barn raisings and corn shuckings. Musicians held a place of honor at these occasions because they made festive even the most grueling work.
A lot of people gather, you know, shook out a great, huge, big pile of corn, while the one that was having it done, the family of that was cooking a big supper for everybody, you know. And most times they would put some kind of a prize in the center. Whoever shucked and got there first, it was his. It was a lot of fun. Then after it was all over, everybody would maybe have a dance, play music, eat supper, and all of that. It was wonderful.
was Etta Baker playing Railroad Bill, Steamboat Bill. When Etta was 3, her family moved to Richmond, Virginia, where they became acquainted with a number of local blues musicians. When they moved back to the mountains of western North Carolina, they brought with them a style most of their neighbors hadn't heard before.
After going to Virginia, there was a band came to our house, and they circled around the house. You know, they wanted to make us welcome to living in Virginia, so they came in and played. And that was the first time I'd heard my daddy play the blues. He learned some of the songs from those people that came in. And then he took time and taught me and my sister. There just wasn't too much blues going on back when I first, heard Daddy playing. And then later, on the records, we would start hearing blues pieces and learn different ones from that.
Did you think then that there weren't very many other women playing guitar like you were? Did you notice that you were one of the few?
Well, back then there was a lot playing. But there was about all my people, come to think. Sisters, and aunts and cousins and all of that. A lot of people uses their knife, or either a bottleneck, but I have just a steel that fits over my finger. And that's what I always play John Henry with.
But you say a lot of people used to play it with a jackknife.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think too many people have seen the way that's done. How do you hold it?
Put it right between the two fingers. It's real hard to hold because if you don't hold it just right, it'll drop. Now, my sister plays with a knife all the time.
While many of the tunes that Etta Baker plays don't have words, they do have stories behind the titles that tell about hard times growing up black in the South.
This friend of mine, he went to West Virginia, and he got out there and he was broke and he wanted to come home and he didn't have no money. And he thought, well, I'll just go out on the street and put this song together. So he did, and it wasn't very long till people was coming up, you know, just dropping a little money all around, and he soon had enough that he could get home. And when he came home, he taught me this one-dime blues. He said 1 dime was all he had in his pocket.
Blues are so often about hard times, yet they make people feel so good. Why is that?
Well, you're most times singing about somebody that's in worse luck than you might be having. So there's happiness in the blues. People think blues has to be sad feeling, but it's not to me.
Her love of the blues prompted Etta Baker to quit her job.
I worked at Buster Brown for about 23 years. And there was a man came here from Portland, Oregon. He said, Etta, you would make more to give more time to your music than on a public job. And you know, I got studying about that. He could just be so right. And I said, well, I laid my guitar down when the children was little. I said, I better pick that thing up and get busy. That was on Wednesday. I went to the office And I told them, I says, I'm quitting Friday. I give them a 2 days notice. And they said, well, can you make it? I said, all of that's been taken care of a long time ago.
Etta Baker has been performing at colleges and festivals around the United States. She played at the 1984 World's Fair in Knoxville, Tennessee, the National Folk Festival in Virginia, and at the Augusta Heritage Festival in West Virginia. Here's Etta Baker, recorded live at the Seedtime on the Cumberland Festival in Whitesburg, Kentucky in June of 1989.
This is one of my favorite blues called the Broken Hearted Blues. Last spring, and I played at Warren Wilson College, and I played the Broken Hearted Blues. And one of the big students says, school's about out, says when you open your front door, every one of us is going to be standing in your yard. I said, you couldn't please me better. I love to play around schools. I love the students.
Etta Baker is a recipient of the North Carolina Folklore Society's Brown Hudson Award. In January of 1989, Etta Baker was honored by the National Endowment for the Arts and the North Carolina Arts Council when she was awarded the first North Carolina Folk Heritage Award.
It is my great pleasure and privilege to present the first North Carolina Folk Heritage Award to Mrs. Etta Baker.
I want to thank each and everyone here tonight for the privilege of being here. And I'm just so delighted. I said, this seems like a dream, but although it was a good dream. So my first selection will be the Carolina Breakdown.
addition to her 6-string guitar, she plays a 12-string and a 6-string electric guitar. She's also starting to relearn the banjo tunes that her dad taught her. Whether it's learning new tunes or planting a new garden each year, Etta Baker continues to be excited about life because she knows it's built on a solid foundation. What do you have growing in this plot?
I'm saving this down here to plant beans, and it's too early. This is a row of flowers. Black-eyed Susan. See, they coming up in this row there. Oh, they are so pretty. They grow this high, and they're yellow with a black center.
You've been listening to a program about the master Piedmont blues guitar player Etta Baker through an episode of the former WMMT series Southern Songbirds. And that show was produced by Rachel Anne Goodman. We're going to take just a quick break here, but stay tuned for more Mountain Talk after the break. Welcome back to Mountain Talk here on WMMT. I'm Parker Hobson. Today on the show, we're visiting with master Piedmont blues guitar player Etta Baker. Over the course of her career as a performer, Etta played here in Whitesburg several times at our very own Seedtime on the Cumberland Festival here at Apple Shop. And for the second half of our show today, from the Apple Shop archive, we bring you clips from her 1997 Seedtime performance. You'll hear Etta playing several songs and talking about her music, and you'll also hear the musician and folklorist Michael Kline asking questions. So up next, recorded live right here in Whitesburg, here is Etta Baker at the 1997 Seedtime on the Cumberland Festival.
Etta, maybe we'll start with you and ask you, how are you feeling today?
Well, I am feeling fine today, and I hope everybody is feeling likewise. I'm just real happy to have the chance to be here in Kentucky. It's a wonderful place. I've told my family about such a beautiful place, and everybody I have met here is real, what I call real people. And I just feel so happy to have the chance to be here with you all today. Thank you.
Could you start off by picking a tune for us?
Well, what do you all like, a blues or a country? Well, I think we'll step it up and go.
thank you, Etta. That's such a beautiful guitar you're playing. It looks like it's brand new. Can you tell us about that guitar, when you first got it?
Well, I really treasure this guitar very, very much. It was given to me in the year of '58 for Mother's Day. My daughter gave it to me, and she had rheumatism. She was on crutches, and she worked and bought me this guitar. And she said, "Come on, Mother, I want to take you to town, and I want to get you a Mother's Day gift." So this was what she gave to me in the year of '58.
Wow.
And I really, really treasure this guitar very, very much.
Can you start back at the beginning and tell us about the guitar that you started off playing when you were a child? And
Well, when I was about almost 3 years old, I was in the bed. I remember I was in the bed and I heard my daddy tuning up the guitar. They didn't have to say, "Etta, it's time to get up." That guitar was enough to call me up on the floor. So I got up and I would walk through and under my dad's knees and come up between him and the guitar, and I'd look over and see where he was noting. And he bought me a tiny little guitar, and he'd set me up in the middle of the bed and laid across, and I'd show him the chord, but I wasn't getting too much sound from it. And I could do my 3 basic chords when I was 3 years old. And the only lessons I had was my father.
your father was a musician, was he?
My dad played guitar, harmonica, and guitar, and my mother also played harmonica. Dad played violin, and he taught me violin, and he'd say, "Come on, baby, I want you to play violin," and I couldn't stand the little screeching sound, but I knew better than to let Dad know I didn't want to play the little violin. So I've sat there many times, and it just gave me creeps to hear it squeaking. But still, I played violin, and Dad played banjo, and my sister played guitar. And I regret to this day that I laid down my violin and quit playing. I wish I'd kept it up, but I bought me another one. I'm still going to take it up again.
What kind of music did your dad play? Could you say about his style?
Dad played mostly country until we moved to East Virginia. And when we got down there was a band came in and made us welcome to that part of Virginia. So the guitarists came in and played Carolina Breakdown, and that was the first blues my dad ever tried to play. I never had heard him play the blues before, so he played the Carolina Breakdown, so Dad learned that from him. Then Dad taught me Carolina Breakdown. So I will play Carolina Breakdown. you.
Etta, tell us about how your music developed after you started to play as a 3-year-old. What happened? You said your dad got you playing the violin and your sister played the guitar?
Oh, yes.
Then what were the situations when you would play that music? Were there dances in the community?
Yes, we was playing at a Brown Mountain Beach, it was called, and the dancers from Lenore would come out on Saturday night, and we went over and would play for them. And we'd play at different entertainments, house parties, things like that.
Were these square dances? Or
Square dances, yes.
can you describe some of those, where they were held and what sort of people came? And
Well, it was
were there any good fights, or did they just mostly?
Oh, no, there wasn't anything but just happy times then. And at entertainments on Saturday night, a lot of the people would have a lot of good food brought in, and everything then was free. Just whatever you wanted to eat, it was there. And then after that was over, they'd all go back to playing and dancing, and that would always last until about maybe 1:30 in the mornings, if it was on Friday night, because people back then, they wouldn't dance on Sunday, so they would try to close out by 12 on Saturday night.
Were these racially mixed events that you played for?
Oh, yes.
People got together to. Did that mean that black and white people
Black and white.
danced together as well?
Oh, yes, yes. It was just like one big family.
And that was at Lenore, North Carolina?
Right.
How about doing another one for us?
Well, all right. This one's called "Oh Another Hand Baby." Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about that piece. Whose piece is that?
On the other hand, baby,
Well, I heard Ray Charles was the first that I heard play that. And, of course, I don't play it near like he did, but maybe someday I will.
What does this music? How does this music speak to you, Etta? This blues. What is it?
Well,
where does it
I
come
like
from?
a happy blues. A lot of people are saying sad blues, but I never did like a sad blues. I like a blues you can sing and feel happy after you sing it. And I think there's a lot of difference in happy blues and sad blues.
Where does the sad blues and happy blues? Where does those things come from inside people?
It mostly comes from the mood you're in, how you feel. If you feel happy, then you're going to sing a happy blues.
There's a request for John Henry.
With John Henry, my guitar, John Henry, I left it at the room.
She doesn't have her John Henry guitar with her.
You can use mine if you want.
Do you have a slide?
You can use this one here.
Oh, you don't have one. You put
On your finger?
on
No,
your
we
finger.
don't. That's the only one I've got.
I doubt if I can really play it.
That
with
won't
it.
work for you?
I'm just not used to it. It's fine.
I don't know what in this has.
Thank you. Kindly hard to play a strange guitar, although this is a real sweet sounding guitar, but it's all in being used to the one you're playing.
Where did you hear that John Henry? Who played that?
My dad played and my uncle, and when had a chance to visit in the John Henry Tunnel in West Virginia, it just excited me to death to get to go back in the place that I'd heard them sing and play so much about. And I was really happy to see that tunnel.
Did your dad work with the railroad at all? Or?
No. Dad, he just done a little farming around home, and he was more of a sportsman. He hunted and done things like that.
Did you ever hear him talk much about music when he was a child, who he learned to play from? And
Oh, yes. His granddad was an excellent banjo player and also guitar. And all of his brothers and sisters played. They played harmonica, guitar, and banjo.
What would it take to get you to sing one for us, Etta?
Well, I don't do very much singing.
I know you don't do very much. It's like seeing a precious butterfly or something. When a person gets to hear you sing, it just happens once in a while. How about treating us to a little song? Do you feel like it?
I'll try.
Thank you.
my baby's gone. Won't come back anymore. My baby's gone. Won't come back anymore. If they knew how much I loved him, would not have left at all. Up this morning, the blues was around my bed. Said I got up this morning, the blues all around my bed. When I had my breakfast, baby, I found blues all in my bread. Don't you see the little house? Baby, it's all painted in green. Don't you see the little house? Baby, it's all painted in green. Says my friend lives there, baby, the most handsome man you ever seen. Oh, you got me hooked for you, baby. That's why you sling your weight around. You got me hooked for you, baby. That's why you sling your weight around. But as long as you love and beat your organ, baby, my friend, I'll never put you down. where you argue when I leave for work. Then you argue when I get home. Everything I try to do for you, you always tell me I'm wrong. I bring you home all my money, except a little I keep for expense. When I get home to you, baby, you always tell me I got no sense. But on the other hand, baby, your loving ease all my pain. When you put your loving arms around me, honey, you make me forget about everything. Where you argue when I leave for work, you argue when I get home. Everything I try to do for you, you always tell me I'm wrong. I bring you home all my money, except a little I keep for expense. When I get home to you, baby, you'll tell me I got no sense. But on the other hand, baby, your loving ease all my pain. When I get home, baby, you made me forget about everything. Then I think about the lousy way you treat me. You always raising sand. I know that you know that I know you got another friend. Half of the time when I'm at home, I have to go to the cafe and eat. And when you argue all night long, I have to go down in the den and sleep. But on the other hand, baby, your loving ease all my pain. When you put your loving arms around me, honey, you make me forget about everything.
That was Etta Baker, performing here in Whitesburg at the 1997 Seedtime on the Cumberland Festival that we held here at Appleshop. You also heard the voice of Michael Kline asking Etta questions. What you just heard was a series of clips from Etta's set that day. To see the whole show for yourself, you can head to the Appleshop Archives website at appleshoparchive.org and search for Etta Baker. For what it's worth, that particular performance is really special. Etta was sharing the stage that day with another master musician from the Southern Black folk tradition, John Jackson of Virginia. And in that footage, you can watch John and Etta trade songs back and forth. In any case, that's it for Mountain Talk today. Thanks so much for listening. For WMMT, I'm Parker Hobson.